This is the Player Position Podcast, where we huddle up, call the plays, and inspire you to run your ball into the end zone. Are you ready to score more game-winning touchdowns in your life, business, and career? Then listen up, because it's game time, baby. Now, here's your host, Mary Lou Kaiser.
It's confession time. I used to hate Tom Brady. Never mind his killer work ethic, personal health regime, and 1,000-watt smile. Not even marrying Gisele, who I absolutely love, tempered my distaste for a guy who seemed arrogant and smug every time I saw him on television. I also had a hard time with a man who acted as if nothing he did or could do was wrong, despite the allegations of his involvement with Deflategate back in 2014 through 2016. That whole spectacle was going on. I also didn't like that he and his team won the Super Bowl all the time. The New England Patriots are to the NFL what the New York Yankees are to Major League Baseball, and Alabama is to college football. Authentic sports fans like me, who cheer for other teams, love the first-time winners. We love them. And then we hate them when they continue winning. Please, on a side note, it will not be a day too soon that Alabama is not ranked number 1 in the FBS. Please. All that aside, I, like millions of other sports fans, watched the Sunday night football game between the New England Patriots and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this past Sunday because it was the big deal game that was promised to be the game to watch. If you could only watch one football game that day, or even all season, that was the one. Forget the others. Even if you don't like either the Patriots or the Buccaneers, you didn't want to miss this game. The big deal, of course, had to do with Tom Brady returning to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, as the quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It was the first time he'd been back since he left the Patriots franchise in 2019, allegedly because their salary offer was too low for the 40-something quarterback. The Bucs were all too happy to take him, and he seems to be doing just fine there. He's doing so well, in fact, that last year, or I should say earlier this year, he won his 7th Super Bowl. Now, the New England Patriots may be the team that poured the foundation on which the House of Brady will forever stand, and where 6 of his 7 Super Bowl trophies reside. But it is the Buccaneers' house, where he lives now, and where he managed to bring a Super Bowl trophy home to in February. That's the place that matters now. Belichick versus Brady memes circulated across social media all week. Leading up to the game, huge amounts of digital money exchanged hands through the plethora of sports books now available right from the comfort and convenience of your phone. Who will it be, Brady or Belichick? Place your bets now. Online sports sites asked similar questions. Will all the hype, emotion, and reflection leading up to the game on Sunday throw Tom Brady for a loop? Or will he trot onto the field, calm, collected, and oh so very cool, showing the fans packed into the stadium and watching on big screens around the globe that there's a very good reason he is the GOAT at 44 years old. Spoiler alert, Tom Brady is definitely the GOAT. Unless watching paint dry is how you'd rather spend your time for 3+ hours on a Sunday night from approximately 8:15 p.m. through midnight Eastern Daylight Time, tuning in to witness history in the making was a no-brainer. Naturally, everyone and their dog had an opinion about who would win the battle between Brady and Belichick. I asked my dad who he favored. "I've never cared for Belichick," he said in a way that was non-committal yet simultaneously told you exactly where he stood. "I just want to see a good football game." "I agree," Mom piped up from her chair. "I want to see a good football game too." She was as non-committal as Dad. 10 minutes earlier, I had texted my one-word answer to my partner in response to the very same question: Brady. I debated. I'm not a big Belichick fan, but as I've already made radically clear, Brady hasn't been my go-to guy either. However, when the camera panned to a luxury box in the stadium showing Tom Brady's cute parents and his wife Gisele looking on in awe and wonder at this man who continues to defy laws of nature, I felt my heart twinge like the Grinch's when his dog Max looks at him with those sad puppy dog eyes. When Tom Brady asked Gisele to marry him, she said yes. I mean, Gisele, who didn't need his money because she's worth more than he is. How bad could he really be? These thoughts led me to see if Tom Brady has an Instagram account that's social bastion of either humble pie or inflated self-flattery. Sure enough, he does, with 10.2 million followers. For all the negativity around the picture-sharing social media platform, Instagram is, to a certain degree, the great equalizer, which is one of the reasons why I have a love-hate relationship with it. Yes, Tom Brady may be uber famous and has more money than he knows what to do with. And yes, he has 7 Super Bowl rings and is chasing an 8th. And yes, he's married to a supermodel, loves his mom, and has 3 really great-looking kids. But for all the things that catapulted Tom Brady into the stratosphere beyond everyday human existence, one thing pulls him back down to earth to roam among the rest of us mere mortals faster than a wily coyote drops over a cliff. Trolls. That's right. Tom Brady, the GOAT himself, has internet trolls. If someone saw me upon making this discovery, they might have wondered what delicious secret I was privy to, why my face was covered with a shit-eating grin, and I would have loudly proclaimed, "Tom Brady has internet trolls! Tom Brady has internet trolls!" followed by peals of maniacal cinematic laughter, for emphasis. Yeah, kind of like that. One troll in particular is not only ruthless, but relentless, posting dozens upon dozens of comments on every post Tom Brady shares. When you visit this troll's profile, you learn that they identify as girl with the ubiquitous gray and white stock avatar, 10 posts of her own, 8 followers, and following 31 people. She writes prolific comments under Tom Brady's posts that suggest she is mentally challenged, possibly even insane. Of the 13,000 or so comments Tom Brady averages on one post, for example, hers make up the majority of them. I'm not kidding. You can check this out for yourself. The obvious question to ask here is why? Why does Tom Brady allow someone like this post as many odd, nasty, and personally attacking comments as she does? Why doesn't he or someone in his entourage have these comments removed? Better still, why doesn't he just block her? I want to believe he or someone in his circle, at the very least Gisele, is aware of this troll and what she writes. Does he not know? Does he just not care? Does he like having his comment numbers high and she's all too willing to help him achieve this goal? Or is something else going on? Playing in any online space brings with it the chance of being attacked by any or all of the following menaces: trolls, critics, and bullies. The differences among these three pests are as follows. A critic sees a problem and writes it down in detail. There's often an edge of helpfulness to a true critic's posts, but not always. A troll creates a problem based on an insecurity or weakness it senses, then zeroes in on that insecurity or weakness with the intention of hurting you. Finally, a bully goes straight for the jugular, wanting nothing more than to hurt you because in most cases, hurting you makes them feel better. The individual consistently posting nonsensical comments under Brady's posts seems to be an amalgamation of all three. In some of her posts, she criticizes Brady for his decisions. In others, she highlights what she perceives are Tom Brady's weaknesses, extensively elaborating on them in a way that suggests she wants to hurt him. And in still others, she outright attacks Brady personally for no other reason, one can only assume, than to hurt him because she herself is hurting. The deeper into her world of comments on Tom Brady's posts I got, the more my initial glee transformed into sadness rimmed with sympathy. I wondered about the person behind this profile. First of all, is she a real person? Was the video she posted showing her boobs something she did of her own volition, or did someone force her to do that? Was she a victim of tremendous ongoing abuse growing up and thus deep trauma? Does someone continue to abuse her now? I wondered if Tom Brady wondered about her too, which is why he's done nothing to remove her comments. He's got a lot of other things to deal with, and he takes it with a grain of salt, right? Now, there's always the chance that she's a bot, programmed in a bot farm halfway around the world with specific keywords related to Tom Brady. Removing her may be too much trouble. Bots like trolls can be relentless. As I scrolled through Tom Brady's Insta feed, I couldn't not notice the kindness with which he wrote about his teammates, parents, and of course, Gisele. Things about how wonderful a mother she is to their children, how she keeps the family together, how he loves her to the stars and back. He even writes messages in her native Portuguese to her. Tom Brady writes the kinds of things women love to hear from the person they've chosen to spend their life with. The public acknowledgement of undying love and appreciation is an extra layer of wonderfulness many people never experience. Not that it's necessary for a relationship to be solid and strong. I know plenty of people who love their partners dearly and don't have any social media accounts on which to proclaim their affection. But to see a man of Brady's status and public stature do it with gusto is pretty remarkable, to me at least. Not a trace of arrogance or pomposity. His posts about his wife, children, parents, and teammates are genuine, kind, and heartfelt. The Brady monster I had built in my mind doesn't exist, at least not on Instagram. Is he a fierce competitor on the gridiron? Can he run his mouth sometimes when he's hot? Damn straight he can. Who among us can't? But no champion wins without grit, focus, and determination. And no champion is perfect. I now follow Tom Brady on Instagram. His handle is @TomBrady, all little letters. And I look forward to seeing his posts. I don't plan on turning into one of his super fans anytime soon because I have my quarterbacks. You guys know this. There's Marcus Mariota, who unfortunately this year looks like he's injured again. And then, of course, there's Justin Herbert, another amazing Duck who is doing great things down in Los Angeles with the Chargers. But I have a newfound respect for the man. He's more human than I once gave him credit for. If he plays professional football until he's 50, as he's talking about doing, all the more power to him. 10x, the greatest of all time, he already is, showing all of us how anything's possible when we put our minds to what we really want. That's an attitude I'll always get behind. This is Mary Lou Kaiser. Thanks so much for listening to another episode of the Play Your Position podcast. Remember, team, it is always a great day to get out there and be like Tom Brady. Play your position to the best that you can. Make it a great day, guys. We'll see you next time.
Got a great key offensive strategy you like to share? Write to us at coach@pyppodcast.com or on Twitter, use #PYP and let us know how you're running your ball into the end zone for those game-winning touchdowns.